Okay, welcome to. Oh God, I always forget the damn number. Welcome to episode 634 of the Black Brain Trust. This is the Sapio-Males Guide to the Galaxy. The Muse. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Muse. Not a moose, like Rocky and Bullwinkle. No, not a moose, a muse. Um, so what kind of sparked this one is this is actually an addendum. Like I said, I'm really just doing like addendum. Damn it, my keyboard totally fell. Um, I'm doing addendums to like live streams I did on my channel, and so I did one speaking about uh, how the virtues of a muse, or the importance of a muse in a man's life, if you've ever had one, recognizing if you currently have one, or who might actually be one, and you don't even recognize it or realize it. Um, it well, before I go there, the heck is this on my keyboard? Um, so before I go there, part of the reason why I also I had more thoughts to kind of speak on this type of stuff here is because somebody texted me a live stream from the dude Platinum Elite, and it was like a live stream about like beauty or intelligence, which do men prefer? And I'm just, Jesus Christ, why are people so simple? Why are they so simplistic? Timothy, what's going on, man? Welcome. Why are people so simplistic? I do not know. I actually forwarded it to a female friend of mine, and like she calls me, and then she goes, beauty or intelligence? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, why can't you have both? I said, I don't know. She was like, well, the guy brought up Kim Kardashian and Kamala Harris. And I was like, am I supposed to pick between the two? I was like, because I don't want neither. She was like, you better say neither. So I think, man, I don't know. I think the Savior thing is over a lot of heads, man. I really do. So I think I see this platform has a lot of work to do, man. We got a lot of work cut out for us to kind of, and it's not even to get people to understand it properly. That's not what it is, because people are going to understand things based on their level of understanding, right? It's really more, it's more to break down like, okay, so if we do a live stream and we entitle it The Muse, that's very specific, right? It's literally, we're not even dealing with anything binary, right? This or that, beauty or intelligence, you know, book smarts versus, whatever. It's we're not even dealing with anything binary, and that's kind of like a fundamental problem with people who kind of take that position. It's like, okay, well, if I'm speaking from it, if it's being relayed from this platform, then we're actually going to kind of do it like this, right? So with this one, in talking about the Muse specifically, right? Because there you go. There's nothing binary about that. It's not even a thing about whether, this is a Kim Kardashian or who the hell knows? I have no clue. I really don't even know what to even say to that. But what I can speak to is as a male, if you've ever had a muse in your life, how beneficial that was to you. Now, let's do this. I'm going to just, because I have it in the description, right? I have it in the description. So, definition of a muse: a person or personified force who is the source of inspiration for a creative artist. Now, even the creative artist part, let's just take artists off, right? And even if we take the word creative, we could say inspiration for a creation, or for creations, or for creativity. Okay, so let's take artists off. Now, this person could have inspired you like in a multitude of areas in your life during certain times, and you didn't even realize it. Right? Could have been, let's just say it was a teacher, math teacher, like 7th, 8th grade, and it was a particular year. Maybe it was like pre-algebra or some shit. And for whatever reason, she cared more that you got it right than maybe like other kids. Like she kind of like was like, oh, okay, well, these other kids, they'll get it, but I need to give special attention to this one. Right. And, you might have not really recognized like the extra attention that she was giving to you, or, more of the empathetic side of her that she was trying to convey to you, that she wanted you to get this. She wanted you to get it. Okay. And, those are stages in our lives where we've had that. Okay. And as we get older, though, we've also had it, but we may not realize it. Like you could, let's say you get into your 20s, and let's just say there was like this chick at your job who was just always upbeat and positive and just supportive of everything that, like, if you told her, hey, what did you do this weekend? Oh, I went out, raced, this weekend. How'd you do? Not, and I mean, not like just like, well, in terms of general interest, but I mean, like, let's just say like always wanting to know what you're doing. And then let's just say you run into a challenge or something, then start really having some interest in this issue that you're having. And they have some sort of weird vested interest in seeing you through it. Have you ever had like a chick that just gave a shit about a problem you were dealing with a little bit more than you did? Where it was almost as if it was like the fact that she gave a shit more than you did was kind of like a kick in your ass, and then it was just like, well, wait, let me just go ahead and get this knocked out. Because you were over here sitting over here mulling over it, thinking it was just like a fucking mountain when it was actually a molehill. And she was just like, no, just get over the molehill, go. And like I said, this may not even be like a romantic interest or anything like that, but it's somebody who in your life who does this. They kind of have like a pattern of doing this type of shit with you. Like, I'm gonna give I'm gonna give an example of one. Oh shit. Oh god. Because all right. Well, it doesn't really matter. She gets these anyway. So I remember an exchange I had with a friend one morning. This when I was doing like contract work for Bert. So I was literally out like 4:35 in the morning. It was like maybe like 5:30 in the morning. And I was out in the field, and she's up butt cracker on because she's kind of a brainy chick, and she gets the day started and gets to work and does her thing, right? So it's like, chances are, if I get a text from her in the morning, it'll probably be like 5, 6 in the morning, and I'll hit her back. Yeah, I'm up. What's up? So I'm out in the field one morning, and it's maybe like 5:30, and so like she calls me. She's like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" I'm like, shit. I'm out freezing my ass off. I'm working. What's going on? We were just talking about shit, right? And so I can't remember the context of what we were talking about, but I remember this exchange. She suggested something to me, and I said to her, I said, you know, I think you overestimate my abilities, right? I just kind of just like, I think you overestimate my abilities here, right? Just kind of saying it like that. And like, what a quick reply. She says, no, I think you underestimate yours. And then I had to stop. It's just like, wait, okay, you kind of said that real quick, real fast, direct. Like, I think you're like serious. And like, she was dead serious. Like, no, I think you underestimate your intelligence, or I think you underestimate your abilities, Ulysses. That's what she told me. I was like, shit. Okay. Jeez. Okay, but that's someone being a muse, right? That was like one of those instances that I could readily think to, man, where I was just like, good God, okay, jeez. So what I typically do with these type of topics is I also have quotes that I like to read. I like to read some quotes. And some of these quotes are very, very, very interesting. But it is pertaining to the muse. So, as I typically do, I pull quotes from Brainy Quotes. So let's see here. Let's start off with this one. Men should never marry their muse. It ruins the illusion. Oh, you know what? I'll disagree with that, because my wife Rosie, she was my muse, but we also got married, and it was all good. So I don't know. Okay, let's give that quote some context. So if you know that there is a person who is based, you get all your inspiration solely from that person, but you're not compatible, then yeah, don't do it. It'll ruin it. But if there's compatibility, then that's just your counterpart pouring back into you. That's really all that is. But if it's, because see, your spouse, your significant other, right, your partner, they can also be your muse. Let's make no mistake about it. They can be your muse also. But a muse, I'm kind of contextualizing this, right? A muse doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic interest. So if you have one and they're not a romantic interest already, and there's kind of no then yeah, don't do that. It will ruin it. Women are our most miraculous muse, an enchanted intangibility that encourages all art. That was CeeLo Green who said that. And like I said, man, the thing is, and this ties back to the feminine intelligence live stream we did. Maybe, was it 2 weeks ago, a week ago, or something? Because it's a feminine perspective on things. As a guy, I can't put myself in a feminine frame and then say, hey, well, what would a sister girl think? What would a woman think about this? Right? I literally can't do it. So if I'm trying to create something, and let's just say, like, I'm just kind of running into a wall, right? And then I call up a mentor, a partner, call up a couple friends, and they kind of give me the same advice, and I'm like, shit, okay. So I'm sitting here mulling over it, scratching my head. And then maybe homegirl falls through for a sec, and then it's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, fucking pounding my head against this damn wall because I'm trying to figure out why this design looks stupid. And then give her like 10, 15 seconds, and then all of a sudden she's going to completely tell you something that you hadn't even been thinking. But it's because it's coming from her head, and you don't think like a chick. So this is where thinking like a woman is actually beneficial. Oh, God. Okay, that... all right. Don't take that as a joke. I'm just saying, no, in all reality, this is where it becomes beneficial. It's like she comes in and just says something, and you're like, holy shit, I didn't even think of that. Oh my God. Really? And then she's looking at you like, you're stupid. Right? Yeah. One of those scenarios. I think I look for a muse in women. Someone I can just picture in my mind. Someone who respects herself and others. It isn't so much the things she says, it's mainly what she does. That's what makes her all the more beautiful. Well, I've always said, it's well, it's not even that I always said. I said it in the damn feminine intelligence live stream. Go back and listen to it. It's an outward display, like you actually see it. It's in practice. It's decision making. It's a whole bunch of things that really aren't things that are really said. That's what I mean. It's kind of like that scenario I gave you. She shows up, looks at it, right? Gives an observation and then points something out and says it. It's kind of like, oh shit. It wasn't like, you're just kind of saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And then she just kind of goes on this whole spiel about what she thinks you should do. But no, it was practical. She showed up, looked at it and said, well, what about doing that? And you were like, what about doing that? Huh. I've learned that the muse is like, oh shit. I've learned that the muse is like an angry girlfriend. If she comes knocking, you better be home, because if you're not, she doesn't leave a note saying pick up after 3 p.m. from the post office. The gift she had is gone forever. Ooh, let's dig into that one. Okay. Essentially, your muse is not your secretary. She's not your secretary, okay? She's not your flunky. She's not your servant, right? She's not your human reminder. Your human notification bell. She's not those things. Okay. There's a gift of observation. Right? There's a gift of observation, and there is a gift of communication that she possesses, right? So this is what I mean. It's kind of like the ability to be able to take heed and recognize when you have that person in your life, right? Because sometimes, guys will have that woman in their life, and yeah, look, it doesn't have to even be like a friend or something, right? It could be a cousin. It's a female that really has an inspirational disposition. Okay, that's why I brought up a math teacher. It's a certain disposition that the female gender has, and it's men having the ability to recognize when they're interfacing with that, because it comes from a place of purity. Okay, it's not, you can't put it in any sort of binary construct or anything like that. It's not a conditional thing, right? That's what I was saying. Don't look for this characteristic to be in somebody who is like in some sort of subservient role, even. Don't look for it to be in somebody who is like in some sort of you're the employer and she's the no. Okay, like I said, this could be like just like a homegirl you don't know from high school. Like y'all were never romantically involved with her, but y'all was just cool. I have a homegirl like that too. I have a homegirl like that from high school, and it's like we don't talk often. We don't talk often, but we'll just like she'll hit me on Facebook, and she like it's always just some like, hey bro, just thinking about you. How you doing? Like it's always some positive shit when she hits me. You get what I mean? And it's like we'll kind of exchange back and forth how my daughter's doing, how our kids doing, boom boom boom. Okay, but it's like if I go back in time, it's like, dude, she's always been that chick. You know what I mean? She's like never been like on no whatever with me. Like it's always been cool. And then to this day, it's the same thing, man. Just hit her brother on Facebook. Hey, just think, cross my mind. How you doing? So it's recognizing when we have those, man. And like I said, it doesn't have to, it's not a romantic thing, but when you recognize that you do have those type of females or women in your life, it does sort of evolve your perspective on women. All right, you stop thinking of. I don't want to say you stop. I think you become more mindful. You become more mindful of just who it is you might be dealing with. Becomes easier for you to tell if words of encouragement are heartfelt or if there's an underlying motive. Right? Like, you get what I mean? Like, so understanding what something like a muse would be would give you an indicator. That's kind of like an indicator. Like, dude, just because every chick says something nice to you or something, or she's always seeming to be nice to you, that don't mean she's trying to fuck you over. There is such thing as a muse, right? A woman who just naturally has this disposition where she is always finding herself to be inspirational and nurturing, flaws and all. Another personal story. Even when I was in Chicago, right? Wifey was going through some things, and oh shit, I'm at the job, and so just in conversation, man, I kind of mentioned, yeah, my wife's going through cancer. I had a picture of my daughter on my desk, and I just, man, just going through that right now, right? And so the word kind of got around, right? And then so this random person kind of struck up a conversation with me, got to talking, and it was just like, I had heard. Okay, so it was like, okay, saw the picture of my daughter on my desk. Thought my daughter was the cutest thing ever. Then it was like, well, wait a minute. The woman who gave birth to that daughter, okay, she has, right? And so then it was like, oh my God. And then he's here, he's working, he's doing, and so it wasn't like it was just like a damn. I can't explain it. But for whatever reason, she ended up becoming someone who is a friend of mine to this day. Let's just put it like that. Okay, and it's not even anything romantic because she is married, just had a child. But it was that's what I mean. It had nothing. It's nothing romantic or anything, but ended up becoming a dear friend of mine to this day, man. We're talking like friendship now. What? Going on 8 years. And it was just a matter of like, it was sort of like an empathetic thing. And it was just like she's strike up, and then it was getting to know this, then it was just, yeah, one of the weirdest things, man. But you got to recognize what that is. It's like I said, it's a purity position, man. All right, I've been rambling. Shit, it's been like 25 minutes. Well, I kind of like really went into that quote and kind of crescendoed me down a slippery slope there. Let me check the chat. Let's see. We only got a few people listening. Okay, that's cool. This will just be one of those pre-records. Okay, Timothy, what's going on, man? Chaos Rain, what's going on? Let's see. Wait, am I looking in the wrong? Let's see here. People like shit. Oh, okay. I see what that is. That's what it was. A comment there. Yeah. Yeah. You know, people like stuff. I had to type help in terms of high school. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So more about this. Again, it's just a recognition that sometimes people have a purpose that they come to serve in your life, and it may not be what you think, right? And that's what kind of bothers me with a lot of the relationship conversations. Hold on one second here. I think you guys should be able to hear the music in the background. It doesn't really matter. It's not the me people listening. But yeah, that's what bugs me about a lot of the conversations that are had in social media about, you know, intergender dynamics, right? And how the interactions take place. It's too binary and too simplistic in terms of the interactions that take place in social media. That simplicity doesn't it doesn't mirror the complexity that human beings are, and this is the disconnect. That's the disconnect. We're biologically and psychologically, we're very no pun intended, complex creatures. Okay. But then, with that being said, you're trying to have a very base level conversation and understanding about how said complex organisms interact with each other. There's a fundamental problem there. Oh, okay, King Nick, you hear it? All right, cool. Yeah, so there's like a fundamental problem there. Right, there's like a fundamental, right? You have like this brain, right? That pretty much it has unlimited. It's just really just a sheer matter of like your own will to tap into it, but it's pretty much unlimited in terms of what you can do with it, right? And so with this flesh computer in your head, you're basically taking a stick and, you know, drawing 1 + 1 = 2 in the dirt, and then using that as a method of communication with another person who has a flesh computer in their head. Do you guys understand where I'm going with this? It's not that simple. Okay, this shit is not that simple. It never has been. And so I guess there's this quest to simplify it through deduction. I'm not really sure how you're gonna get there, right? Okay, I guess what make things transactional. Okay. Right. I mean, it's the difference between like, okay, so here's what I mean by make it like transactional. It's the difference between like paying a female life coach or just recognizing that, you have that female cousin that has always had your back, and so like you can always hit her up, and a 1 hour conversation with her will net you twice or three more of the gains that you would have got paying for a $500 session with a female life coach. You follow what I'm saying here? Like, I don't know. I think well, number one, I see value in just humans as a whole. I try to assume the best in all people, dude. I don't try to like just look at you and just think you're the absolute worst person upon sight, right? So I try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. And when I say everyone, I say, women included. Okay. And because of this, I've been pleasantly surprised at those who have, really just chosen to be like warm to me, you know. So this is kind of where I wanted to sort of deep dive into this notion of the idea of a muse, and recognizing like, well, talking about recognizing, those who may just be that in your life. Let's see here. Yeah. And like I said, this live stream probably isn't going to be a long one, because it's I covered this on my channel. I did one, and but I'm sort of just reintroducing topics on this platform that I did prior, right? But this one was one I did want to bring up because, like I said, there's human interactions have become such a binary transactional activity. It's actually kind of troubling to me when I observe it taking place in social media, right? All of these different platforms that hold these panels, that have these discussions, and it's not that part of the fray, honestly, is not for this platform to engage in. There's really no place for a binary conversation about intergender dynamics here. I mean, it happens elsewhere and then we observe, but over here, for the type of brothers who pursue the type of subject matters, who work in the career fields, right, who are interested in the subject matters that are discussed here, tend to function a little bit differently. Okay. I think a good portion of the brothers here can recognize when they have that aspect in their lives, right? And they've recognized that maybe, say, currently or in the past, where someone had that muse attribute, and they played a key role during a key time in their life. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's see. Like I said, man, I usually kind of, when I get around the 35 to 45 minute mark, it's been all vomited out. Read a few quotes about who and what a muse is. Um, oh, wait, you know what? I guess there's another point I can make. Um, so because again, the sapio thing is unisex. So let's flip the mirror around for just a second. So I highly doubt there's any women listening to this right now, but in case there is on the playback, they do catch this. This applies to you also. Men can be a muse for you as well. This is true. So for any women listening, again, all of these conversations that we have, I'm a male, so I can only express it from a male perspective. However, conceptually, it's unisex. So if we flip the mirror around, a man can be your muse as well. Now, don't ask me how. I don't know if I've ever been a chick's muse, and if I have, she's never told me. Let me think for a second. Maybe I have. Let's see. Let me see. You know what? I would say maybe for my wife I was, because she used to tell me a lot that I was able to hip her to things that she didn't knew were possible to do. And when I say that, I mean like so for example, like let's say she had an idea for something, right? Like a business or something. And she would kind of just be mulling over it. Like just, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if that's a good idea, And I'm like, and then she would like ask me a question. I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm like, well, what is it? And then, she'd tell me, well, that's a great idea. Why, what's wrong with it? Well, I don't know. It seems like it could be an issue with trying to do this. And I'm thinking about, well, no, you just watch this. You just do this. Similar to the chick, your friend who shows up and then points at your thing and then just says, well, why don't you do that? Okay. So if you are that for, well, I'm giving you a personal example. So what happens there is that she got in a habit of thinking a little bit differently, because instead of just kind of just hitting a block, it was like, okay, well, wait. Okay, think possibilities, right? Because what would happen is she would always hit a block, and then she would ask me, and then I would be thinking something completely different, something that she wasn't even thinking about. And she's like, wait a minute, I didn't even think about like how you could do it. I'm like, yeah, you just do it that way. That's easy. Right now, I'm just totally like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's easy. Blah. Right. But she wasn't even thinking it. And so what happens is that when that becomes like a routine thing, then in her head, it becomes a thing of like, well, I'll just go to him. But if I start to find myself hitting a block, I don't have to feel as though I can get hung up. There's someone I can talk to who's always going to give me a different perspective, and it's going to make me see things a little bit differently. You get what I mean? So in that regard, I was her muse, because she always had these ideas and she thought they were grand. She always thought they were just, I'm not going to, just one of those things, where people think that they get an idea to do something, and then what they do is they'll stop themselves from starting, because they'll just say, oh, well, this, and all these different reasons are the reasons why they ultimately just will not be able to do it. But then if they have a person who is totally thinking differently, and they're just like, yeah, well, just do that. After a while, they're gonna stop doing that, and they're just gonna basically cut. Hey, I haven't. I got to talk to you. You have a minute? You know, you don't have a problem helping them out. You know what I mean? So, in that sense, that's just a personal anecdote of a man being a muse for a woman. It goes both ways. A woman can be a muse, and you generally hear, because you know the origins of a muse. What is it? It was the daughters of Zeus, Persephone, I think. Persephone. Let me look it up. Let's see. Let's take a looky loo. Let's see.
Sweet.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Mind Design, Delicious Vinyl TV. What's up, guys? Shop people here.
Yeah.
within like the next year or so.
Uh oh. Wait a
So I'm
minute. I
definitely
didn't
looking
mean to do
forward to
that.
that.
Hold on a second.
And of course, uh, dim light, dim light
Oh,
is
wait,
going
wait, wait,
on
wait,
some
wait.
electronic.
There we go. All right. Each of 9 goddesses, the daughters of Zeus. There we go. The daughters of Zeus. Yeah. So it has a Greek and Roman mythology angle to it, but they're essentially the 9 daughters of Zeus, or the 9 goddesses, the daughters of Zeus, who preside over the arts and sciences, right? So the primary vehicles for creation, right? The arts and the sciences, and these are the 9 goddesses or the daughters of Zeus who preside over this, right? So you, as a creator in the arts and the sciences, right, would draw, and, and from how I understand it, there's basically like 9 different types of like muse archetypes, I guess you can say, that as it relates to the daughters of Zeus, right? So they can come in sort of like 9 different forms, I guess you can say. I don't know how deep you want to get into it with that. I haven't really gone that deep into it. Mosman, peace. Welcome, brother. Kind of light evening tonight. Just sort of deep diving on the Muse. You know, posing the question, asking the question: do you have one in your life? Do you have one in your life and you don't know it? You know, because that's a thing there too, man. Sometimes we don't know who that person actually is. But then again, we may not have known what a muse actually. What if you don't know what a muse is, then you don't know what purpose or role that person is currently serving in your life. Think about it. Think about it. If you had no idea what a muse was, right? You don't know that this thing exists, then that means that there's potentially people in your life that are serving as that. But if we don't have sort of like a cognition or a recognition of what that is, then we wouldn't know. And again, that then becomes the danger in having very uh, low level conversations, I would say, in social media about interpersonal relationships and intergender dynamics and what have you, right? Some dudes think like a chick. See, like, look, there's a chick who might be your muse, but you're like. Let me make sure I get this out right. Let me make sure I get this out right. Okay. In your head, you might think that you're. Wait. Let me make sure I get the wording right. Okay. You may think a chick may have you friend zoned, but in all reality, all she really is just amused to you. Do you get what I mean? It's like there might be a woman who's kind of there, right? You don't know what that's about, but then she always kind of maybe tends to kind of give you that, that you got it. Not It's no romantic. It's nothing romantic or anything, but just has your best interest in mind, right? But like today's PUA would have you tell it that you're an orbiter and that she's friend zoned you and that she wants your non-sexual attention and all this other shit, right? However, what if her role in your life is to be your muse? Is there anything wrong with that? Most men, you said your dialogue has been intriguing. I talked to my singer friend about the direction of her sound. She says she likes my thought because I consistently put her ideas into words. There you go. That's what it is. That's what it is, right? Now, here's the thing. Like you just have to. I mean, well, it's not even that you have to do anything. Just, are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? Yeah, I mean, because sometimes that, I think with guys, what'll happen is that they may actually be that for a female, but the guy may actually experience some form of like unrequited kind of affections, right? His reasoning might for doing it might be, I don't want to call it selfish, but if it draws up a sort of an unrequited type of sort of then it is a bit selfish, right? In that scenario, it is slightly selfish, right? Because in the other scenario, again, you have a woman who's doing that for you, but she's not really looking at she's not looking, she doesn't feel there's any sort of unrequited anything there, right? Because she's genuinely being that way, right? So what I think what guys, well, to, I think the caution for guys is sometimes you might do that because you kind of have a romantic interest, right? And so then there's it's a tricky. That's why I wanted to talk about this Muse thing, right? Because there's nuance to this shit. It's not so simple. Okay, see, you can just genuinely like hip a chick to some stuff and not even really give a shit, right? Or like, she can bounce ideas off you and you good for like giving her 10-15 minutes of your time, and then it's like, all right, cool, yeah, chop later, peace. And it's nothing. In that scenario, yeah, you might be amused to her. Okay, but if it's something to where there is a lot of interpersonal play, right? And then if it's sort of like she draws inspiration from what you says and then goes off and does something with it, right? But nothing kind of comes back, and you feel some kind of way about it. Okay, that may not necessarily you be you being amused. That might be just like some feelings getting caught up, right? But like if the whole point of you doing what you did was for her to do that, then great. Yeah, you're her muse. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Strategic conversations about artist development is something I enjoy. Plus, it's healthy. Playing a long game, providing. There you go, man. I mean, it's like we're all individuals, man. We all have like lives and paths and stuff. And, the only thing, well, I don't want to say the only thing, I would say the best thing or the best option is to always just kind of put your best self forward at all times, man. Then the only thing that people can really do is just like hold you in high esteem. And she's gorgeous, but I don't pay attention to her beauty. I just treat her like a regular girl. She recognized that, so she's coming around me. Yeah, yeah. I, there's it's on my channel, so I'll pull it up and we'll revisit it. But it's about that right there. It's literally about that right there. Shit. I have to dig it up. What's it called? The Value of Beauty or something? I think it was called The Value of Beauty. Something like that. I'll have to dig it up, man, and then we'll have to revisit that one. But I mean, the thing about it is that like, if really look, if you, I like it like this, man. I like the intelligence thing, and then beauty's the bonus. You get what I mean? It's the beauty's the bonus, but that's all it is. It's kind of like, all right, I don't know. It's because they have that saying, beauty fades. So it's sort of like you kind of have to approach the whole beauty thing with a fairly pragmatic level of reason, right? Things fade over time, so it's like put all that on it if you want, but see, when the beauty fades, whatever's there when it fades, that's what you had all along. Okay, that's what you had all along. So the beauty stuff can largely be an illusion, man. It's more of it's an inward beauty it's an inward thing that's expressed outward. It's not prima facie. It's not the actual makeup and all that other shit. It's actually it's something that comes from within and it's expressed outwards. So there's that whole part too, right? Like how you even perceive beauty to begin with. But you call her dork and she agrees. Nice. I wonder what happened to this group, Mike V, Dollar Will, the crypto guy, and so on. You wonder what happened to us? We're right here. The crypto guy, and so on. We're here. We're actually live. Well, I'm live. Well, this is kind of like the live stream that I'm hosting, but we're here. We haven't gone anywhere. Myself, Mike V, and you said the crypto guy. I'm thinking you're talking about Lionel. We were all on live stream just last night. Yeah, go check the videos. The Financial Fellowship live stream. where have you been? That's the question. We've been here. Well, we did take a little bit of a hiatus. Not gonna lie. I think it was like maybe like a 2-month hiatus. 2-3 months. We needed a break. We haven't got anywhere, man. We're here. I think what happened was that we when we went on a hiatus, I'm not sure. I think during that time there might have been like an algo reset, and then everybody had to go back in and make sure that the notification bell is on, which I don't think everybody's kind of gone through and checked that stuff, or either that or just what we're doing is not interesting to a lot of people. I'm just Dude, I'm being stupid. I'm just joking. But yeah, either way, man, we've been going live regularly for a minute now. So Clarence Avant is a perfect example of a muse. Okay, I'm not sure who he is, but yeah, um, but yeah, yeah, you know, men can be muse. They can be a muse to women. I like I said, I think with men though, sometimes, um, you know what? I'm not going to say that. 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 Let me go back to what I was going to say because that would have opened up a whole other can of worms, and I don't plan to do that here. Okay, so um, yeah, with men though, they can oftentimes run the risk of being a muse for a woman, but whether they're being honest with themselves that they actually have a romantic thing, guys just have to be on, they have to just be very careful with that shit. They got to be honest with themselves, man. That's the thing. There's nothing wrong with a guy being a muse for a woman. Just like I said, I had don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't you say it. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. Okay, said watch his Netflix doc. Okay, I'll check that out. Clarence Avant. Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah. Um. I mean, I really want to say this, but I really don't though. How, let me think of a way to say it without saying it. Okay, so um, dudes who are typically muses for women usually aren't the type of guys that are into them. You guys you catch my drift? oh, oh shit! Oh my god! That was it, man. Usually, that's you. Those are usually like a male muse. That's who they usually. That's not to say that's the case with you, most men. I'm just saying, think like Kardashian and socialites and all that kind of stuff. Think about the dudes who kind of like rolling around with those kind of chicks, telling them that they look gorgeous and shit. Okay, I need to get all the way the hell out of there. All right, get out of there, Ulysses. Get the hell out of there. He's a connector or Maven example, like yeah, Malcolm Gladwell. He's the reason why Soul Train didn't get beat by Dick Clark's Soul Unlimited. Huh. Well, you know, I would rather hitch my wagon to the Soul Train. That was a terrible joke. As opposed to Soul Unlimited. Wow, okay. No, it's interesting. I'll look that up. Yeah, Dick Clark's Soul Unlimited. I remember that. Well, I don't remember it because I think it was a couple years before I was born. I think Dick Clark Soul Unlimited was, no, it was like 70, 75, 76, 77, somewhere around there. I'm trying to remember. Before then he came back with American Bandstand. He had to stay in his lane. Yeah. That's funny, man. Okay, so let's see. So I think for the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I kind of rambled on about how a man can be a muse for a woman. And then I think, yeah, well, not I think, I know. So prior to that, I rambled on a bit about a woman being a muse for a man. And in both scenarios, in both scenarios, like I said, it's a tricky thing. There's a lot of nuance there, man. So when you have the woman who's a muse for a man, some I guess oftentimes men don't really kind of see them for what they are, and especially in this new sort of social media driven environment that we're in, like relationships have like human relationships have been just reduced. Okay, so since it's so binary, there's no room for a person in the current context, in the social media context. There's literally no room in the conversation for someone to be a muse, right? However, those people are actually sources of inspiration, so that would actually be a good thing to have in your life. That would actually be a good thing to have in your life. um but I think it takes having, or developing a more sophisticated mind as it pertains to how we see things like relationships and stuff like that. I think people have gotten the emotional intelligence, man, is like just, it's like the Bitcoin values, man, just plummeted. I don't know, man. People are just not too emotionally smart. You know, I hate to say that, but I don't know. It's an observation that I see playing out. You know, just like in YouTube. Who's blowing up and off of what conversations, right? And when you hear the back and forth, you're just like, wow, man, you guys are all adults, and this is how you think. You've been thinking this way this whole time, and then you wonder why your relationships have sucked. Jeez. Okay. But I guess everybody has to kind of go through their stages, right? Hmm. Let me see if there's anything else for me to say. 'Cause I think I vomited everything out of my head already. It said here, not even conversations about the journey of the astute young man or business acumen. I mean, we try to do it here, and we try to have conversations like this to uh, kind of get us, introduce us to like more of the higher dynamics, of interpersonal interactions. Like I said, man, it's not just simply your you know your alpha F's, beta bucks, orbiter friend, this, that, whatever, right? I mean, if you choose, you're only that if you're choosing to put yourself in that shit. Okay. But like I said, what if there is a person who's choosing to inspire you? Okay, dude, take all those bullshit constructs out of the, dude, throw that shit in the trash. Okay, that's where not enough. Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah. Um, but just throw all that shit in the trash. Somebody who like sends you just literally, dude, because they think to do it. Okay, if nothing else, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting it wrong, but it seems as though sometimes what's being said here is that like you know it's it's being done to keep you in some sort of orbit position. I have no idea, but what I am trying to espouse here is recognition of who just may be your muse, right? Who is just a source of inspiration for you. Doesn't have to be romantic, doesn't have to be any of that. However, understanding that someone who is doesn't have any romantic interest in you, okay, they don't no ulterior motives, none of these things. However, they always find themselves to be always trying to motivate you, inspire you. They're always trying to see the best in you. Okay, value that person. I don't give a shit there's no romantic anything going on. Don't contextualize it in this whole it's a friend zone orbiter blah 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 blah. No, if this person genuinely is just trying to like just see the best for you. Take that, as Puffy would say. Take it for what that is, man. And if they do it consistently, then value that person. Why? Because that means that's a person that's always going to say, "Hey, look, whatever's going on with you, I want to see the best for you." And sometimes that's really just all you need is a person that just tells you that type of shit, man. Like, trust me, man. I went, man. Fuck, I went through some fucking dark periods, dude. you know, I'm talking after I lost my muse. Shit, I went from having that chick, man, who, I mean, just because just wanted to see me win so bad, man. She just did shit without me asking. I went from having that to empty, right? I went from having that to not having that. I would say today, my daughter, she's a muse, totally, totally. Here's what she does. She'll come in my room, and she did this actually right before I did this live stream. So she'll come in my room, she'll jump in my sim rig because I have it sitting in front, like I'm sitting in it right now. But she'll get in it, just get on the computer, and pardon me, she'll she'll pull up the Porsche website. I've mentioned this before. She'll pull up the Porsche website and she'll spec out a Porsche Macan S, right? And then she'll leave it on the screen. Like she does this shit on purpose. She'll go to the Tesla website, she'll spec out like a Model 3 or a Model Y or something, like a real nice one, and then leave it on the screen. So when I come in, it's something for me to look at. she like man, my daughter she's on some other shit. She functions on a whole other level. Like she does stuff like this. Like she's basically a clone of her mom. Okay, she's a clone of her mom. So at 9, she does this. This is what she does. She's just kind of, it's like nuggets, like leaving things just around in your face. Eyes on the prize. Like that type of shit. You know what I mean? So I would say my daughter, she's like, I would say at this age, or she's, let's see, what am I trying to say? Yeah, because for the longest, man, like after my wife passed, I was on some like, I was just on some like, um, renegade shit. Like it was, lone wolf and cub type shit. Like it's just me and my daughter, and like that's all it is, right? And so basically, I just had to go within, you know, And so that's where the racing thing really just because I always been passionate about it since I was a kid. But when I got to that part of that stage of my life, it was sort of like, okay, well, you know, you you, you may as well like do that shit as a form of grieving, right? It's like you may as well just submerge yourself into a passion, dude, to like deal with what you just dealt with, right? So that was how I dealt with grief. I got into motorsport. That's what I did, man. I got into motorsport. Um, but as my daughter's gotten older, and she's starting to become a young woman. Jesus Christ, man! It's like, where did the time go? So, I think more of her feminine intuitions are starting to come online. Like she's getting older, so I'm noticing like she's not like my baby cakes, right? She's not my baby cakes. She's always gonna be my baby cakes, but she's becoming a. We're not at the young lady stage. We're at the pre-teen, getting there stage where it's starting to take shape, and I'm seeing it. So that's what I mean. She's doing things, and I'm like, oh boy. Um, and then the friend I was mentioning, the scenario I mentioned where her and I were on the phone, like it was like super early in the morning, and I was working, and she just like I can't remember what it was, but yeah, she should just suggested that I do something. She kind of just said it matter of factly, and I was just like, I think you overestimate my abilities there. Like given what you're suggesting that I do. And then she was like, no, I just think you underestimate yours. And it was just like a, well, touche. Jeez, okay. Damn. All right. What do you say to that? Thanks for blessing you both have created an environment to cultivate that, man. Thanks, bro. Yeah, well, I mean, my wife's no longer with us, man. That's the thing. But, you're right. I was blessed to have her. I was blessed to know like what it was like to have like a woman in your life, like who's like a. I mean, that's what all men need ultimately. That's why I'm like, look, if anything, man, recognize if there is a woman in your life who if anything, she's a muse. Look, relationship, blah 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 blah. I don't know, right? But that does not stop just like I said, just there might just be a person who is just inspirational to you, and that in and of itself, man, that can push you a long way. So you know, there's a thought that women don't have much value or something. They go, "What do you bring to the table?" and all this type of shit. And I'm like this. Like I said, I will recognize it. I won't ask the question, dude. A lot of people don't bring shit to the table. Okay, so I'm not gonna ask them, "What do you bring to the table?" Not a motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? But okay, it's on you though to recognize when somebody is bringing something though. That's when you have to recognize it. Like, don't ask the fucking question. Recognize when someone's genuinely just doing it. Then like, hey, by the way, I'm bringing this to the. It's like no, I'm not gonna just say I'm bringing this to the table. No, it's just they just want to see the best for you and show that. Take that, like Puffy. Okay. I've literally been ranting for like an hour and 15 minutes straight. I am. I vomited it all out. It's all out. I ain't got nothing left. Let's see. Okay. Well, there's a light night. There's a yeah, a light night. Not too many people falling through, but that's cool. There's probably other ongoings, going ons on the YouTubes, so that's cool. Um, we do this type of stuff for playback reasons anyway. You know what I mean? So it'll be here. Um, I guess my last thoughts on it, man. Just you know, and like I said, this is a unisex conversation. So any women who who are either listening to this now or might listen to this later, think about whether there's a guy who's a muse in your life. Yeah, most men, I appreciate you, man, for following through, man. Glad you enjoyed the convo. And then for the guys, yeah, think about it, man. Think about it. Are you over here like saying to yourself, "Oh yeah, this chick, this chick, this chick," when in all reality, dude, she just may very well be your muse. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. Think about it. Both of you, men and women, think about it. Okay, I'm gonna shut it down, man. I'm gonna go drink the rest of this water and go mess with my daughter and see what she's doing. All right, you guys have a good rest of your evening, man. Peace.